After the visit to Isandlwana and Rorke's Drift, which featured in part 1 of this video series, we returned to our hotel, Battlefield Lodge, where we enjoyed some lovely wildlife, including these delightful weaver birds that were right outside the door of our room. The hotel complex we were in was surrounded by a fence and a large plain area where we saw springbok, blesbok, zebra, and a family of ostrich. The following day we flew down to George and then transferred to the Hotel Diaz in Mossel Bay. And our room up on the 11th floor afforded a wonderful view of the bay and the Indian Ocean. And then the next day it was back in the coach. Fortunately, not too long a journey, and we were in very different countryside as we were being taken to the Cango Caves, where we would have a tour. And then after that it would be on to an ostrich farm.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to walk up and down steps. I please just need you to be careful. You will find that most of the steps are a bit uneven and sometimes they are wet and slippery. Back in Oatsall, the little town, so the accent that I've got no idea. Yes and no. Yes, due to climate change, we do not have lots of room to put up. Now the ceiling on top is actually very interesting, and it almost looks like a painting, but the ceiling, in fact, looks like an upside down turned riverbed. And that's because of water indicated about 2 to 3 million years ago. And if you look closely, you can actually see in which direction the water flowed. Most of the water flowed out by the cave entrance, the mouth of the cave, and then some of the water penetrated through the floor. Very good step. Please be careful. I just wanted to say, not so good for the short legs, and I should know, I've got a pair of mine. So please be careful as you come down. The second step is a rather big one. The only way that visitors could get from one chamber to the next was making use of interlinking tunnels. So the first official entrance to this chamber started. Can you see there's an opening? Yeah. Okay, my guest there to the left, can you also see the opening?
Yeah, just.
Okay, let me make it a little easier for everyone. There we go.
Yes. You can see it now.
Now I want you to imagine, crawl and climb, and they came up right onto there. And if you continue to follow my light, you will see some black dark markings. Now that was caused by the smoke from the flaming torches and candles. But more importantly, have a look at some of the holes in the floor. Ladies, gentlemen.
No.
deeper we have entered the cave, the more humid it gets. Like I've said before, you tend to breathe in and out quite heavily, not necessarily because we are unfit. It's just because of the humidity being too high inside here and the oxygen very low. Apparently it's the oldest dated limestone. It is Precambrian limestone that's about 800 million years of age. So now due to tectonic movement from the Earth's plates, almost like how mountains were formed, the limestone segment under the sea, it pushed to the surface. Now due to this movement, cracks formed in the limestone, water stayed behind in these cracks, and eventually the water became acidic. So it started to eat away at the cracks in the limestone, thus creating this whole cavity and space inside the mountain. And then, as I've said before, 60% of the cave, yes, was formed by tectonic movements from the Earth's plates, but 40% was also formed due to water and water erosion.
It's like underground rivers.
Yes, that's why I said earlier the ceiling looks like an upside down turned riverbed, and that's because of an underground river 2 to 3 million years ago, and then most of it flowed out by the cave entrance, the mouth of the cave, and some of it penetrated through the floor. But the reason why I asked you to sing is because a few years ago we had concerts inside here. Wow. Due to the size of the chamber, the good acoustics, and in front we still have got the remainder of the stage. So the concerts were held between 1964 to 1994, a period of 30 years. But in 1994 they decided, no, they had no control. People were climbing on the formations, stepping down, and some of them even ventured deep into the cave, which resulted in formations being broken off and taken out as and that's why 1994 they decided, no more concerts.
And so, after our very enjoyable visit to the Cango Caves, it was back in the coach through some quite mountainous looking terrain and on our way to Safari Ostrich Farm. Here we were first entertained to a really excellent lunch where I confess I sampled ostrich steak. It was very pleasant, a bit akin to venison. And then after lunch we were to be introduced to the birds themselves.
Objects. So don't go too close, especially if you wear beautiful earrings and glasses and cameras, so just be careful, okay? Yeah, but sorry, do not worry, they are all vegetarian birds. Okay? Yeah, so you are welcome to follow me, please. Thank you. Hi. Hello. How is it? Just wait a second. I am going to give you just a second. Yeah, so they do have their own feeding containers in the enclosures, but because they are curious, they think the food they're getting from us is better, but it's the same pellets. Okay, so everyone, we all know ostriches are flightless birds, right? But they are fast runners. Yeah, they can run a speed of up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour, and they can remain that speed for up to 2 kilometers long, but only on a flat surface, of course. Okay, and you see they are walking on their toes like ballerinas. Yeah, so they literally do, because in the middle, where the knee is supposed to be, is the ankle. So right there, that's the ankle. The knee is under the wing. Yeah, so you can only see the knee when you lift the wing. You see the arm there. Yeah, and the hip is more internal, so along the side. And the wing is built like an arm of a human. So they also have a shoulder, a elbow, and a wrist with 2 fingers. Your waist can show you. Okay. Yeah, so they have a little
Sorry, we're not blessed with intelligence.
Just in case
Would someone
it went
can
for
I
me.
take a picture?
Yeah.
Come, we would like to see your fingers, please.
Show the fingers, guys.
A full-grown bird weighs about 120 kilos. Yeah. 90 to 100. So that's one of the reasons why they cannot fly. And you will also see when you look at their feathers. You see their feathers are not bold like those of a flying bird. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we also have a few young ostriches in this enclosure. They are between 6 to 7 months old. And you see their feathers are different. And you cannot tell whether it's a male or female yet. It is not very calm like Lady Gaga. So when they do that, you need to stay away. So that's a warning sign.
Right. Oh, she's told him what for. Told her what for.
Okay. And we are now in the mating season. Now when it's mating season, the male's beaks and front legs turn red. Yeah, so this color shows the male is ready to mate. So with other words, he's in love. And after the mating season, then it's grey again. So it's the hormones that change between July to February. Now when it's mating season, they also tend to be more aggressive. And lucerne. You know, lucerne is a type of grass. It is also known as the king of animal feed because it is rich in desert birds. So that's the reason why we will find most of them in this area because the climate is perfect. And you know, ostriches are farmed for their feathers. The ones you will see out, the always be separately for like long eyelids.